Hello, everyone. Today I'm joined with my special guest, April. Beautiful April. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you. How are you? I'm fabulous.
I'm great. And before this, I was talking about how amazing your teeth are and how great you look. And you were saying that it's the whole about being on this spiritual journey, about ascending, about letting go of all the baggage just makes you look a lot youthful, a lot younger, right?
Yes, I definitely agree with you there. That's exactly what I feel like. I feel like everybody keeps saying they're getting older, but I feel like I'm getting younger. So, I mean, it's just like a lot of the stuff the content that you post, I read it, and you're right. We have to do the work. It's very important. It's a part of our journey and everyday life.
And sometimes people want quick fixes. They want someone else to do the work for them. They want to pay like some sort of healer to heal the things. And they want to stay in the madness and the ego. And from my experience, that doesn't help. What do you think?
100%. I believe it helps, but I don't believe that. I believe that people have the wrong idea. They get it mixed and they think they're going to go in there and they're going to get healed. No, they're going to get tools. They're going to get tools that are going to help them. They're going to acquire tools to help them ascend. They're going to learn how to heal. They're going to learn what works for them. They're going to learn how to reprogram the subconscious. They're going to learn how to get out of the limited beliefs that we have been conditioned to believe, the fear-based, the robotic, systems. Those are all just tools that we have to use and apply them in our life every day. They're going to learn how to work out. They're going to learn what of our journey so that we can ascend. And that's how I feel about that.
Sorry, you slightly cut out. You said they're going to learn how to work out and learn how to apply those.
Exactly, because once you start ascending, as you very much know, your body wants more of it. It feels good to the soul. So you're going to be attracted to it. The body's going to want those greens. The body's going to want to feel alive and not so dense. And working out helps you to feel a lot more lighter. And I just feel like it's just alchemizing all of these gifts that we have within us, and going to these healers or taking these courses. I'm going to be a forever learner. I've done Reiki, Angelic Reiki, part of the Sophia Code. I've done a lot of those. I still utilize all those components in my day-to-day, lifestyle, but I don't want to go and heal everybody. I'm here to provide wisdom, to provide things based off of my own experience. And if they want to apply them or look into it, that's up to them, because I can't hold anybody by the hand.
So let's start from the beginning then. So let's delve into your background. Let's find out, where this journey started. Because for me, I was always very much into religion or spirituality. What about you?
Okay. So I feel like I did everything backwards sometimes. I keep saying that to myself. Why did I do it backwards? Did I do it backwards? It just lands the way that it lands. I believe that, from birth, we are ascending. We come out and that's where everything starts. I just believe I didn't wake up until 2008 when a lot of events changed in my life, huge changes. Well, before that, so let's back up a little here. So I grew up as a child, two different parents and two different lifestyles. And so then when I was 12, I was having a little bit of issues with one of my parents, and I ended up going to become a diplomat in Mexico City. So I had all this diplomatic immunity. It was like I went from nothing to like having a maid so I got to experience so much, and it was like huge jump. These are timeline jumps that
And
I'm only
are you Mexican American or?
Yes, my grandparents are Mexican.
Yeah.
So then after that, 2008 came, I ended up learning and started working with the saints, the Virgin Mary, Jesus, and other saints. And then
And what do you mean you started working with them? Because people might be thinking, so, 2008, something got you into spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's back up. So I had I lost my job. The job, I think, was the recession that was happening. So they were cutting people from certain positions and professions. And then I had to pay my house, and I was a single parent. So I have my best friend, she's very spiritual, and she's like, you need to go see somebody who can read your cards. And I was like, no, I can't do that. That's not right. No. So I went, and this lady, she's like, oh, no, we have to do this too. We're going to have to give you a bath with herbs and you're going to have to ask Jesus. And she gave me candles. So I started working with candles and she did like a whole herbal bath on me. And after the bath and the candles, I couldn't even talk. Like, I didn't even know what was going on with me, but I didn't realize that, again, those are tools, those are components that we can all utilize and we all have access to, but I didn't realize the power that's, into all these things when you believe and you have faith. So I did that. And then I started working and asking the saints and I got closer and closer to, learning which saints worked best with me.
And
Mother Mary.
how did you communicate with the saints? You saw them, you heard them, you felt them?
I felt them. I still feel them. And so we've become so close. Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael. I invoke them every day. All of my kids have Archangel Michael's name as a middle name. But anywhere I go, I invoke them.
And
Then
how do they feel to you?
It's just, you can't explain. You build a relationship with them. When they're there. It's like when you see the numbers 222 or 111 and it pops up, you're like, oh, okay, I know what that means. Because it's different for everybody. For me, it's like, Mother Mary, help me with my heart, help me to soften up, help me with the kids, or watch over, make sure you build a shield around my kids. So for me, that's my version and my connection with Mother Mary, with Jesus, with Archangel Michael. If I have to go to war, it's like, okay, I'm going in, surround me, guide me, or remove these people from my path. So it just depends, because each saint has different aspects and different areas that they work in.
So when
But for me,
you weren't into this stuff before, and all of a sudden you met this woman, she gave you candles, a bath, and you started communicating with all the saints. Did you think, what the hell's going on with me? Am I crazy? And did people think you gone crazy?
People did. They know me now. Now they see, I mean, still, but they candles. What is the candle going to do? What is the candle going to do? And I'm like, well, it works. And so I started getting to know my saints through the candles, because I would light the candle and the candle would change black if it had to clean up something. And it would say it was a St. Michael candle. Okay. And I had a special intention for that. And I said, oh, I need the help with this. And I put the candle on and it would turn black. And I'm like, oh, wow, he was really cleaning up for me. So then that's how I learned. Okay, then I started building the relationships and learning. And then eventually I didn't need candles. Now I don't.
It's interesting, because I started seeing angelic beings when I was meditating a long time ago. And initially it was with the eyes closed and I could feel them and see them. And then I have seen Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, but like physically with my eyes, and then seen other things as well, all sorts of things. And yeah, I mean, it didn't come as a surprise as such, but yeah, people can think it's weird and strange, But lots of strange things happen when you're on a spiritual journey.
Yes. Yes, I agree with you on that. I mean, there's just it went from that to the learning the reiki, and that all happened in 2020, and then angelic reiki, and it just wasn't.
What is angelic reiki? So reiki first. What is reiki and what is angelic reiki? Because I've never heard of the second one.
Okay, so reiki is where you're using your hands and you're using the energies, and there's different symbols that you use to be able to have access to transfer energy and to help shift. So most of the tools that I have acquired are for me and for my kids, and I really haven't gone out to try to heal anybody. Like I said, a lot of it's for me and for my own personal growth. And then I went into angelic reiki, which is where you work with all of the archangels, and they all actually come in during the session and they help you with the healing. So I'm there, but I'm like, they're using me as to be as a bridge to come in.
Like a channel.
And that's the difference. And then all the symbols are also you also get all the symbols, but they're invisible to everybody else. They're just on you when you get attuned.
What symbols? Is like the light codes or something?
I don't remember all the names of them, but there's certain symbols that get put in certain areas of your chakras, in your hand, your palms, throughout your body. Yes.
And that helps to heal them or allow the energy to flow.
Yes, it allows to help you heal others and allows you to help work on yourself as well.
And how did your children receive this? Because they saw mummy from being not into this, and then all of a sudden she's doing all this jubu woo on us?
No. Oh, you're so funny. Okay, so my kids were born in, I've been doing this since they were little. So
Yeah.
they're used to this. This is nothing new to them. They laugh, we'll be in the car and I'll say, "Oh, universe, find me a good parking spot." And my son's like, "Universe," so they're so used to it. They don't really say anything. They laugh, but they they know that mommy, they're like, "Okay, mom, this is what I'm feeling." So I'll go in there and I'll help them, or I'll ask one of my friends or mentors, "What do you think?" And so they're used to it. It's part of it's just a part of what I've always done with them.
And you mentioned something called the Sophia Code. I heard that before, but I don't know what it is.
So the Sophia Code, you work with Ascended Masters, and Sophia, the creatrix. She's God, the female version of God. It's all about divine feminine transformation. It's all about becoming your own, finding yourself, and all the blueprint to help find yourself is in this book. So you go on a journey with these different Ascended Masters. It's a really good book. I was on that journey, and I still I revert back to it. So it would be this book.
The Sophia Code.
And so every time you read a chapter, you activate your genome, your blueprint. And these Ascended Masters each have certain gifts and qualities that you also have, and they guide you as well, and they also become a part of your journey and help you.
So who's the book written by? Like, for the critic
Tera.
And for the critic out there, how can they believe, if they need to, like that it activates your codes? What happened to you after you got activated with that?
Oh my goodness. So before I even got to this, right, before I even got to the book, I was doing the reiki, the angelic reiki work on myself. Like I said, I only utilize the stuff on myself. And I had this calling to look for a statue. And I was like, I need to get a statue, like a Buddha statue, but I don't know who. I just keep getting this feeling, and I keep seeing signs. Like, I'll see the pictures here, or I'll see the picture of a certain Buddha. So it was a green Tera at the time. And I said, why do I keep getting this vision? So I ended up finding a statue that was really hard concrete, and it was for $25. And I said, what? It's so huge. And I'm like, okay. So I went and grabbed it, and it was green Tera. And so she's also one of the Ascended Masters from the Sophia Code. She was the one who helped me find. Because see, they find you. You don't find them. You think that you're finding them, but they're finding you because they know that they're there to help you.
I mean, we've talked about angelic beings, and I think a lot of people understand angels, but maybe people don't understand what are Ascended Masters, and how they can connect with them.
So Ascended Masters are, they've lived on Earth. So they've been human, and then they had to ascend because they've obviously passed their karma, their test, and they've been able to, they're able to connect with us and help us here on Earth. We just can't see them. They're not just going to come out of the sky, like everybody thinks Jesus or green Tera just going to appear. I believe that they appear to us in different ways, and everybody's version of them is different. And I believe that you establish a relationship with each of them differently. So for me, like I said, my way is seeing pictures of them, seeing maybe even numbers, or seeing something that makes me say, oh, okay, that's Archangel Michael. Oh, okay, that's green Tera. She wants me to get out of my way. She wants me to be seen, and she wants me, she's going to help me with, with my own confidence, and then you have like, who else right now? I'm sorry, I have so much on my mind. There's just so many of them, but you build your own relationship.
The Ascended Masters are those who have completed the ascension process on Earth, broken free from all karma, and therefore are helping us to do the same.
Yes, exactly.
And we can call on their help and guidance, just how people pray to God or the angels and spirit guides as well. Do you also work with spirit guides?
I work with my ancestors, and guides. I work more with my ancestors. I always have them go before me. I have the Ascended Masters go before me. I've been working with them for a long time, so I'm like immediately, okay, get this out of my path. It's a process. This whole thing is a process. I didn't just wake up and all of a sudden I can feel this or feel that, or I see Archangel Michael, or I can feel green Tera. The whole thing, like you said, it's work and it's a process. So,
And what
I'm
do
sorry,
you
what was the
do?
question?
What's your process to maintain
So
this?
every morning, okay, so for me, my process is every morning I do my prayers throughout the day, even during, I do my meditations to reprogram my subconscious. I do positive affirmations. I use the solar method. Right now, I've been using a lot of the Neville Goddard, I believe that's the name. The Wish Fulfilled. That's been working for me. But I go back to my tools, and those are tools. You see, those are tools. But as you very well know, we have to use them. We
So,
have to apply them.
what kind of meditation do you normally do?
I just do the Silva method, and that really helps me in the morning.
So, what's the solar method?
So I can't really explain it. It's a very short 17-minute meditation I do, and it just helps with the reprogramming of the subconscious so that you are not in fear, so that you don't, so that you're always positive about your health, you're positive about what you're going to do, and uh, you're avoiding toxic habits, codependent habits.
So,
So
is it connecting with the sun?
no, it hasn't. No, it's not connecting. It's with anything. Or just reprogramming this. So you're just repetitively saying, "I'm not going to use anything that's not healthy. I'm always going to be healthy. I have a healthy vibration. I am positive." You're just reaffirming and saying those things as he takes you through the 17-minute meditation to reprogram.
So, reprogramming the mind, basically. And what is that part
Yes.
of the wish fulfilled? Is that part of all that, or?
That's Neville Goddard. So with the wish fulfilled is pretty much that's happening. A lot of people are starting to learn about that. So instead of to be able to manifest what you want, instead of going through the process every single day of repetitive and thinking I am, you're actually already have it. The
That's
version of
Neville
you.
Goddard, right? The law of
Yes.
assumption.
Have you heard of him?
Yeah. The law of assumption, right?
Yes, so that's really cool. I've been working with that and it really works and I like it. So
So,
that's
how
actually
how does
helped
that
me.
sound? How does that sound? So, I've already got the car, or?
Like, okay, so why am like, oh, I love having all these clients. I'm so happy that I've lost all this weight and I'm size 8. I'm size 8. I love being able to travel the world. So those are, oh, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I don't care about that. I'm not in fear because you're gonna have things in between that are gonna try to back, trigger you back to the fear-based conditioning. But part of it is just reprogram your subconscious to believe and to know and to feel what you already have. But I also believe that it's also the amount of love that you have that is abundant, not numbers or whatever everybody wants to. I don't believe that. I believe that if you are a very unconditional, loving person, and your intentions are genuine, your purpose is to also help others, and that is abundance in itself.
So you're saying abundance is not just about money, it can be health, it can be about, helping other people, feeling joyful. Abundance comes in many forms. I mean, Bashar
Yes.
talks about 5 forms of abundance. Like, it can come in so many different ways, of course. And then how has your life changed since you started doing all these things?
Okay, so the Sophia Code definitely propelled me to different timelines, and um, that's where I learned how to access all of the ancient uh, tools and wisdom that we all carry within ourselves. Because I didn't know any of this, I was like, "What? What do you mean? I
So
have all
can you
this within me."
explain a little bit more about that? Because so you said
So
when you
all of
jump
us,
timelines, first of all, what do you mean by jumping timelines? Where were you?
so throughout the day, we're actually able to move into different timelines. It's just all because time doesn't really exist, so we're able to create our own realities. This is based off of what I've learned and what I apply, Okay, so um I keep reminding myself, wait, time doesn't exist. I'm able to create my own reality. I am a part of God. God has created me, and He's also provided to me the tools within myself to create what I want to create here on earth. I am a child of God, and therefore my birthright is also, to have everything that I need within myself so that I can help humanity.
The analogy that came in my mind just when you said that was this. every moment we are at the train platform. Every moment we're at a train platform, and every moment we can choose what line we want to go on. What train do you want to go on? Right now, you're at a train platform. Do you want to go towards abundance and your dreams, or do you want to go towards lack? And there's so many different tracks, right? There's so many different lines of trains, and that's your timelines. So each second, each moment, you realize, oh my God, I'm at the train platform. Which train do I want to catch? That's your timeline, in a sense.
Exactly. Thank you for helping me with that. Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
No, but I've never thought of it that way, because like trying to explain sometimes things can be kind of challenging. But my brain, I used to be a kindergarten teacher, so my brain works like a child sometimes.
That's so cute. That's okay. I love it.
To
Keep
make
going.
it,
Keep shining.
yeah, to understand things. So, have you ever done anything else? So you say, obviously you started off with the candles and the bath, and then working with the, your angelic realm, and then the Ascension Masters, and then your ancestors. Did you try any plant medicine? Did you try like
Oh, so
cacao or ayahuasca, anything like that?
okay, so for me, another part of my huge spiritual journey has been working with the African saints, the Lukumi African religion,
Okay,
the
tell us more.
Afro-Cuban religion. So we work with different saints. I don't really work with a divination system like I once did, because there's certain levels you have to have godparents to guide you, and there was a certain moment where I was becoming stagnant because I didn't have somebody to mentor me and my kids anymore. So I just stopped, and that's when I started doing the reiki, which was in 2020. But
But
they
do
were a huge part of my process. And so you work with different African gods and saints, and they actually help you as well. So like you have Obatala, who's the god of the head, and you have Oshun, who's of sweetness and honey and love. Um, so they helped me. And also you're working with herbs when you're working with them.
hmm
So you do baths with like rue, or like, as I was talking about, with like rue, Florida water. You can mix all these different elements and components up, and you can take a bath, and it helps you just kind of get rid of that weight that's around your aura. And I learned how to work with those. I don't use those as much anymore because now, like I said, I haven't really done a whole lot. And I never got initiated completely into it, but
Do you have to be
I
part
did
of a
go to
community?
Cuba.
Do you have to be part of a community to learn these things?
Yes, so you have to be part of a community, and the communities are within households. It's totally different. And I really didn't finish all of that. Like I said, it's very hard because you want to find somebody who's going to mentor you, who's going to have your, who's going to be there for you 100% throughout. Your family's growing up too, so they're also going to mentor your kids, and then it just goes on.
And I want to
So
get into like the important points of discerning between positive and negative spirits, or entities, or saints, or whatever you want to call it, and the importance, secondly, of how to cleanse yourself as well. So let's talk
right,
about first about how, because I have had instances with people who've told me that they are, working with a certain guide, but it turns out to be a negative entity that's trying to be nice, but take them round a bad path that's destructive, and having to keep themselves cleansed so that they are a receptacle of light, and not allowing all the mucky stuff get involved.
right. Um, I have been very fortunate, and I'm so thankful that I've learned about this from the very beginning, from the lady who started doing the candle work with me, to my African godparents at the time, to the Sophia Code. I've learned from the very beginning to be very careful with who you are working with, and who you are allowing in your circle. So when I first started, I was already like told, don't do the, take care of yourself, take care of your energy fields, make sure, so I was always into protection, protection, protection first. Then be aware of who you're working with. It was just always do your work and go with what feels right. And then I only worked with saints that I've done the work with. I don't have somebody else just come in and say, okay, use this saint or use that saint. So it was different for me. But now that I understand that we are all able to become ascended masters, and that's everybody's journey here on Earth, which is a different topic. um, I realized that all of these saints and the ascended masters and they're here to help us. They're here to help me by providing me tools to understand myself better and use my own strength, so I can have faith within myself and my own strength, and I don't have to run every single time to a saint or to somebody. So learning the differences, it's just part of trial and error, and feeling, always asking for it to be of the light. Always, always, always. I always ask, send me somebody who's of the light, 100% good intentions. And so I've been very, very blessed to find great people and great teachers and mentors.
It's very important, I feel, also like to empower ourselves and not be at mercy of other spirits helping us. And I had a realization during lockdown. I was being psychically attacked by a lot of like demonic spirits, and I used to like call on my guides to like help with it. But then I realized that I am my guides. They are another form of me. They're like my spirit, my soul, but fractured into the non-physical, and that we are all one anyway. So ultimately, I am the powerful one as well.
And you go, it was me the whole time who had all that power. They were just parts of the journey to help us get there, right? Another process.
And it's very important for people to understand that, because otherwise people can become very much like, I need my guides, I can't do it by myself. But it's like, you are your guides, and they're just a reflection of you.
And
yeah.
And again, going back to what you were saying about the tools, those are all part of our tools. We don't have to go find healers every day. I've been there, done that. I know what it's like. I don't know for you, but for me, yeah. And it's like all you're doing is giving your power away. You're giving your power away when you're going to people.
Yeah,
because you're not trusting in yourself. You're trusting in somebody else. How are they going to know what's best for you? You have within yourself, your own powers, your own strengths, your own gifts, your own tools that were already built within your DNA. You just have to access them, believe in yourself, and apply them.
And your own guidance. But when you first start going through an awakening, sometimes you can be so much in fear that's being released, and so much addictive energy that you're almost clambering around trying to grab anyone who knows what the hell's going on with you. And that's when you start listening to these people that are trying to make millions of dollars and make money out of people and business, where basically they're saying, you've got to pay me to remove the whatever's that's on you, or all the things that are going on. And it could be quite naive. And people have tried to take money off of me and a lot of my clients. I was speaking to someone the other day, and so much money had been taken by one person in particular from that person. And that's where we can become very naive. I remember when I was seeing my shaman this year, and I was doing plant medicine, and I was like, it's all good, everything's wonderful, and there's no negative spirits, there's nothing, like, because he was around me doing all the stuff he was doing, and I was like, relax, mate.
Oh, I love
sit
that.
down and chill. And he's like, no, what you don't realize is, yes, when you go higher up in the dimensions, you do get to a stage where it is all peace and bliss, but we live in the 3D and you can get attacked. So do you have any advice about like not being naive and following your own guidance and power?
I just have naturally been very strong with my discernment with people and who I allow in my circle. Maybe it's because I'm Pisces. Maybe it's just because it's my path. The one thing, okay, so this is the best, I love this about the Lukumi is, and this goes back to tools. And it helped me too. Everybody's path is different. There are no two paths alike. So once you can get that down and people can understand that, and they can understand, because I think a lot of people want to be like somebody, or want to, oh, well, I get that too. That's fine, but nobody's path is the same. So like I said, going back to what works for me is I call in my circle of empowerment in the Sophia code, that helps me. I do that immediately when I wake up. I do my meditations. I'm confident in my power. But I've done so much work to be able to get to this point, to call my power back to me. I believe there's even a prayer that's going around Instagram and YouTube where you call your power back to you. I call my power. I love it. If you ever get triggered, and again, going back to doing the work, people, like, it's so important to do the work. I'm not going to tell people to go do angelic reiki. I'm not going to go tell people to go do Neville Goddard. They're going to do what works for them and what they feel guided to. I can't tell people what to do. I can only tell them what I've done based on my own journey. And for me, as soon as I feel like, oh, wait a minute, I'm getting tested, I start saying, no, I'm not going to get tested because you're not going to put fear in me just because of that, or the person is not going to intimidate me. This is all 3D stuff. And again, I'm not there. I don't function in this reality like everybody else does. I'm me, and I'm calling my power back to me.
Exactly.
So,
and that's why I feel like I was in the gym earlier and I was listening to someone on YouTube talking about twin flames. And she was like, twin flames are not meant to have children because it creates karma, or whatever she was saying. And it's just her own perception about her and her twin flame, which is fine. But it's very important not to tell people what to do. And you've mentioned it, like everyone's going to choose what works for them. Everyone has an individual journey. It's people that instill fear. She was saying, oh, if you have children with your twin flame, then you're not a twin flame. And if you basically, it's usually you have it before, and all these other things. And I just turned it off because I just thought, how can you decide someone's journey, you know? And that also goes with like not telling people how they should be doing their healing and inner work as well, and none of us are the voice of God, you know.
exactly. No, there's so many questions around the twin flame thing, and nobody can tell somebody what's theirs and what's not theirs to do, because everybody's journey again is different, and my experience is going to be different from yours, and your experience is going to be different from somebody else's, and only we know what we've gone through during that process. And it's very hard for it's work, it's work. It's everyday work, and you have to stay in your power. You have to know yourself, learn yourself, believe in yourself, and a lot of that requires letting go of a lot of things, letting go of yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not the same person I was yesterday. I'm not the same person I was last week.
And deep trust and faith. So you mentioned earlier that we are all here to be ascended masters. Do you believe everyone's ready to do that in this time, this life, or do you feel like some of us are more ready?
Everybody's everybody, this is what I've learned, is that everybody's contract is different. So I believe that we all have the power. We are all given the tools in our DNA to be able to access and to get to certain evolution, our own evolution, and I believe everybody can do the work and live and fulfill their path.
I mean, I was listening to Dolores Cannon the other day, and she was saying, do not judge people. Just because someone seems like they are unawakened, or they're just like, living the ego life, it might be that they're preparing for the next life where they're going to awaken. Or maybe last life they had a lot of stuff going on and they need a break. So we cannot judge like someone's soul opportunity in each life and what is happening. Sometimes you need to just take it easy, you know? You don't want to be having a dark nights of the soul and ego deaths every day.
Right? We don't want to do that. Oh my!
Sometimes you want to chill. Sometimes the soul needs a break. It's a rest period. And then I wanted to mention and talk about like spiritual ego. So I get some messages and people, and they're like, "I'm so spiritual. I don't like money." And so teacher or whatever is trying to make money. They're fake. And what's your perception about this whole spiritual ego and duality way of like right and wrong and material and spiritual? And yeah. And it plays very much into the twin flame stuff as well.
Okay, so the right and wrong and the ego and all of that is not, that's part of what we're moving away from. We're working and we're using the tools so that we can get away from that. So the people who are doing the work, who understand the difference, we're here to help those other, we're here to help. Everybody's here to help everybody, and everybody serves a purpose, just like every plant serves a purpose. Everything serves a purpose. I don't think it's my job to go out and tell somebody what they should or shouldn't do, or how they should get rid of that ego, because there's so many tools out there to help them with their process, and everybody's timing is different. So it's just being okay with not expecting somebody to be and understand what you understand.
But in your journey, have you come to that realization, or how do you work with like the duality and then the
Oh
oneness
my
and
God.
materialistic spiritual, like,
It's hard because I'm the only one in my house that's, that's functioning there. So so I would like to call it the bridge of events, I'm working to get to the Neville Goddard method, if you will. So I already have my wish fulfilled, but in the middle is the bridge of events where you're getting tested with people who have not yet gone through any process, and some don't want to go through the process, and I'm understanding that that's okay if they don't want to do that. It is not my job to sit there and put pressure on somebody or make somebody do anything. It's up to them. All I can do is say what I can say and keep moving. So I believe it's like the bridge of events, and so reminding yourself that if that's what works for that person, accepting people for who they are.
because otherwise we become like spiritual missionaries trying to get people to convert, and it's like,
We'll go crazy.
yeah, let people be the way they want to be. And I think ultimate spirituality is the integration of yin and yang and masculine and feminine and materialistic and spiritual, seeing that we are both and also neither and also more.
Right. It's very hard, to explain it until you walk through that door. You
How have you
understand?
managed to cope though? Because I know we've been talking about stuff and the guides and the spirits, and it's amazing and we heal. It's hard.
I know. I love that face you just gave me.
It's
Yeah, it
painful.
is. It's work. It's what I try to tell everybody. It is work. I cannot stress that enough, that it is consistency. It's how hungry are you to change your life? How hungry are you to be at peace, to learn, you know? And I believe you get to that point to where you're like, I don't want to do this shit. I wasn't made to operate like a robot. I'm not a slave to anybody. And so once you learn that you have these own tools within you, because you're doing the work, right? We're all doing the work to try to get there because we want to find ourselves. This whole goal is to love ourselves, to find ourselves. So we're going to read and we're going to research and we're going to do, who is that? Joe Dispenza. Is that what his name is? Okay. I mean, there's so many tools out there for people to access. And
Yeah.
all they have to do is get up, open a book and read it,
Or
you
listen
know?
to it on YouTube or on a
Like,
podcast or whatever.
exactly.
TikTok.
So
There's a lot of good stuff on TikTok.
yeah, I mean, so for me, those are the things that work for me. So all day long, I'm like, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. A bridge of events happens. Let's say I'm like, oh, I have my student loans due. Great, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. The universe is gonna pay it off. I cannot allow that to mess with me in my head and everything that I've worked for and working on. It's just something that is out there. It's going to get taken care of. I have to believe within myself that I know that I'm on the right path and everything is taken care of. So that the bridge of events is going to happen. You're going to get tested. It's going to happen. And so until you have that faith in yourself and that trust that everything is going to be fine, and those are just words, fear is not real. Conditioning was just happened when you were a child, and you have to relearn yourself. We're not here to do the work for anybody. And we can't cry about it. We can't. Who was there when you were by yourself crying? Tell me. Just you.
Yeah.
We can't cry about it. I don't mean not to cry and not to let out your emotions. Do what you have to do, but rise like the phoenix.
Yeah. Don't stay there. Let it out. Give yourself a grace period. For me, it's usually a day.
The grace period.
It's a day usually. I don't like to wallow in my own filth for longer than a day, and then get up and move.
Absolutely.
Like I feel like it's for me. I'm gonna say two things, but for me, it's like I raised my vibration, I became happy and peaceful and loving, and then I just let go, surrendered, because everything I all wanted was already there somewhere. And when I started doing that, I noticed everything started to work out. But the question is to do the work. How uncomfortable, do you want to get, basically? Because you'll get very, very uncomfortable, and many people are okay with that. They get numb to the pain, the sadness, the depression. They take the medication and they accept it. But as soon as you realize that there is another way and that happiness is a choice and you can get what you want, that's when you realize I don't want to be a victim to my own self.
Absolutely. That's a big thing. Victim mentality, self-sabotaging. Um, those are all weapons, shame, feeling shameful. Those are all weapons formed against you. I learned a lot about that stuff in Sophia Code. Learned a lot from, I love being able to be a part of that journey through the Sophia Code. So a lot of those things are are forms of self-sabotaging, and then they're used as weapons. And as children, we're taught, oh, don't do that, don't do this, or that's not good, or and then you grow up and it takes a piece of you away, of your innocence. And so um, it's just standing in your power,
And you
doing the work, and not expecting anybody to come. And nobody, it doesn't matter how uncomfortable they're going to get uncomfortable. You're going to get uncomfortable, people. You are going to, because that's part of the process. And if you don't decide to change or move it, it's going to be okay. But the universe is eventually going to come in and have to take over.
I mean, Abraham Hicks talks about we are so powerful, we can choose bondage. We can choose to feel like a victim and feel less than because we're so powerful. And we're afraid of the power, essentially. I wanted to like
Yeah.
finish off with like the stuff that you do and like your social media links. And if like I know you said at the moment you've been doing stuff on yourself and your children, but is that going to change?
So for me, I look, I'm still fine. I'm still finding myself, like I think that it's going to be a lifetime. I think everybody still tries, we're all forever going to work on ourselves. That's just part of evolution and part of life. I love posting information and empowering. I love speaking to other people. I love to this journey is all about loving yourself, coming out, and being comfortable with who you are as a person. And for me, my authentic nature, and I love to be able to teach other people they can do the same. So for me, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing on social media, posting the information that I post, and I enjoy doing that. And also just working on myself, and that's eventually I will continue to work with community,
So
with humanity.
we'll put all your links in the description. And
Yes.
I find like my last sort of conclusion on this is it's almost like taking off all of the programming, deprogramming, letting go, removing all the sort of thoughts that are put onto things, and to just be in the now
You-
as a neutral, open, non-judgmental observer, and just be in joy and peace, because all the other
right.
stuff is what kind of blocks us.
It's like we're human. Let's not we don't wake up and every day we're just like in bliss. Oh no, that's not how it works for us. It's just like we know what to do when we get tested because we're doing the work. You know what I mean? You learn what to do when you're getting tested because you've done the work. And yes, you get, so what it feels to feel good. You know what it feels like to feel light, and you know what it feels like how everything lands. So when those tests come in, again, going back to the bridge of events that are going to come in, you were like, okay, I got this time. I got this. Oh, I'm in that timeline anymore. I've already gone, so you can feel the difference. But it's definitely so much change that happens.
But do you think that we are kind of like addictive junkies in the sense that, you know, I'm at a state of like, I've done the work and I feel good, and then something's going to happen that's going to like rattle me. So I know that I've done the work, and we're almost like, well, it's kind of fun maybe, and you're enjoying it. It doesn't feel like fun sometimes, but when you get out of it, you're like, I feel great now that that Mercury retrograde is over. But I find that if we just stayed in neutrality and we stayed balanced and we stayed aligned no matter what is going on, and we stayed surrendered and we stayed in faith and trust, we would ride every storm without having those ups and downs of addictive energy.
Yes, I agree with you. Okay, so for me, my non-negotiables that help me stay where I'm at is I work out now. I run every day. I go do 3 miles, and it just helps me clear my head. And I get all these messages, airdrop, April, get on that. April, do this. April, make a video, or don't forget to look into this. And then by the time I'm done doing all my other stuff, I forget some of it, but most of the time I try to write it down.
Yeah, me too.
But it's consistently working. It's just a consistent inner job, you know? It's consistently doing work on yourself every single day. You know, it's the time from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. You just got to remember, keep reminding yourself, doing things that help you.
It's like
But
we work out physically to be able to have a good physique, to have a good mind. You have to do the same for your mind. And
not
like,
drinking a lot.
it's like throughout the day, you know, we're doing the mantras and the programming. But I believe, for me, that if we just observed and didn't even have thoughts like that were kind of like focused on those things, and we were just in a place of neutrality and just in a place of truth, it would all work out anyway.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Wow, April, it's been a wonderful conversation. Really
Yes.
appreciate your time. And what I've gained from this conversation is what you've said consistently is you gotta do the work. You gotta do the work.
You know, I look at a lot of your some of the comments on your and it's I see that everybody's on the same journey. We're all on the same journey. We're all trying to get, you know, trying to live our best life in this lifetime, and that's what we're all here to do. So
We all
we're
want to
all
feel
here to give
good.
each other the knowledge, and we got to take that knowledge and work with it.
We all want to feel good. We want to feel belonged. We want to feel loved. We want to feel peace. And we try to go outside for that because we forget we are already that.
Yeah. And then we got to get our armor on. Okay, we're going in, you know. We have those days too.
Yeah, it's all part and parcel. But thank you very much. I really
Thank
appreciate taking
you.
your time out to speak to us today.
I had so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me.